Subscribe to WROK on YouTube and never miss a meeting.
All right. Before we start tonight, I just want to let everyone know that Commissioner Douglas was called out of town, and Commissioner Dubuck unfortunately had a death in the family and won't be present here tonight. But with the four of us, we do have a quorum, and we'll be able to conduct the business of the city this evening. So with that, I'm going to call to order the Monday, October 23rd, 2023 Royal Oak City Commission meeting to order. We're going to begin with an invocation given by Commissioner Colo, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. I ask that you stand if you can, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As we gather here tonight, we find ourselves just a little over 2 weeks away from the pivotal day of election. And thanks to the convenience of absentee voting, some of our fellow citizens have already embarked on the time-honored tradition of casting their votes, an act that lies at the very core of our democracy. Voting is a powerful and fundamental aspect of our nation. It serves as a driving force, keeping our democracy moving forward, even when it appears to be at a standstill. You just have to turn on the TV and take a look at the news and see that Washington is just in division and gridlock. However, it's pretty crucial to remember that our local democracy operates in a completely different atmosphere. In our local community, our leaders aren't distant. I mean, we're approachable figures. We're the parents at school functions, the friendly faces you encounter while picking up groceries, and in the neighborhood, meeting people as we walk around. We are all integral threads of this vibrant community. We, the individuals gathered around this table, have taken an oath to serve this community. We won't always see eye to eye with each other, and that's perfectly fine. We'll engage in passionate disagreements about the best way to improve our community, but in the end, what matters most is our shared dedication to the extraordinary place that we all call home. So, as we continue to work together to shape the future of our beloved Royal Oak, let's remember that this is our community dialogue. Let's resist the temptation that some people sometimes have to resort to name-calling and falsehoods, and instead, let's persuade each other's facts and respect. Together, let's ensure that our voices are not only heard, but also valued in the coming election, and let's uphold the reputation of our community as a shining beacon of democracy. Thank you, and let's carry that spirit and unity forward with grace and integrity. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, item number 4. For those of you who don't know, Mr. Geierman, after a long and storied career, the city of Royal Oak has decided to pursue other interests in the fact that he is retiring, and he'll be pursuing hunting, fishing, enjoying the outdoors. Jim has served our community really well over the last decades. He's a public servant in his own right, and we appreciate everything Jim has done for us. And Jim, obviously, the work that Jim is doing means that we have to have someone come in and do it. So we are going to introduce our new city assessor, Anthony Switkowski. And I don't know if, Paul, you wanted to do the formal introduction.
Good evening, Mayor. I will hand that off to Finance Director Deborah Lichtenberg, who was planning on making that introduction, but thank you for giving me that opportunity. So.
Okay, perfect. Makes sense.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. It is a great pleasure to introduce to you this evening Anthony Switkowski, who comes to us as a master assessor, which is a level 4, which is the highest assessing level that can be achieved in the state of Michigan. Anthony joins us from Oakland County and has a wealth of experience that he is bringing to the community. And Anthony, if you'd like to come up and just introduce yourself, and we really appreciate you being here this evening.
Thank you. Good evening. Like I said, I'm Anthony. I'm from Oakland County. I've been there for 9 years prior to coming here. Like I said, I have a level 4 assessor's license, and was truly excited and grateful for the opportunity to be the new city assessor. I have some big shoes to fill after the well-deserved retirement of Jim Geierman. Over the past couple weeks, I've had the pleasure of meeting some wonderful colleagues who are clearly dedicated to their work. Additionally, it's apparent that the culture here is a great fit for me, and I look forward to contributing to the continued strength of the assessing department and help the department and the city overall achieve its short and long-term goals.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Well, welcome, Anthony. Let's give Anthony a warm welcome here. The city of Royal Oak. Picking up where Jim left off, certainly big shoes to fill there.
Yes.
But it's great to have someone so credentialed and experienced as you to come in and kind of hit the ground running and bring some new ideas and keep with the spirit of what we do here in the city. Very grateful to have you.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome. And if you have any issues, if they're all positive, come to me. If any of them are negative, talk to Paul and Deborah. No, I'm just kidding. No, but really, sincerely, thank you for coming on board. I think we're a great city. We got a great team here. And, we're a city that doesn't sit back. We constantly push and challenge ourselves for our residents and other stakeholders. And, I think you'll bring that fighting spirit here. So we're excited to have you.
All right. Very good. Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony. All right. Item number 5, election updates, early voting, voter registration, and voter resources. I want to hand it over to our outstanding city clerk, Ms. Hallis.
Well, good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. This is the first election in our state's history that we are implementing 9 days of early voting since the passage of Prop 22-2. All municipalities in our state that conduct elections must have early voting available for voters for every federal and state election beginning in 2024. We are piloting our early voting site for this upcoming election so that we can make voting more accessible for our voters. This will be done for every election going forward and not just for even year federal and state elections. So for our locals as well, we're going to have early voting going forward. We are combined with the city of Madison Heights and also Oakland County. Our regional voting site will be at the Mahaney Mininger Senior Center located at 3500 Murray, just east of Crooks, north of 13 Mile. This location is available for all Royal Oak and Madison Heights voters. The location was chosen as it's a central location for our voters with an ample amount of parking and isn't very far from Madison Heights. Workers at the early voting site are residents of Royal Oak and Madison Heights who have previously worked elections. There's also a countywide central site for voting at Waterford Oaks Activity Center, which is located at 2800 Watkins Lake Road in Waterford. Early voting begins this Saturday, October 28th, until Sunday, November 5th, from 8:30 a.m. until 4:30 p.m., with the exception of Thursday, November 2nd, in which the hours will be from 12 to 8 p.m. Beginning next year, 45 communities in our county are also partnering with the county for a total of 18 regional sites. For this election right now, there's 25 communities because not all communities have a local election. By collaborating with the county, the state is going to reimburse 80% of the implementation cost. As opposed to going alone, we would only receive 40% of those costs. The county has purchased the equipment, software, and supplies and has already applied for grant money for reimbursement. So far, I've attended 3 trainings this month with the county, including a line management trial to see how many pieces of equipment we'll need to run this election as well as the other elections going forward. One of the new pieces of equipment is called Ballot on Demand. This will allow an election worker to print your precinct ballot for you once you've been checked in. Voters are then handed that ballot. It's actually printed. There's going to be a printer next to the Ballot on Demand machine, and your precinct is chosen on there. Once that's chosen, it's going to print your precinct ballot for you. Then you're handed the ballot in a secrecy sleeve. You take that to a voting booth to vote your ballot, and your ballot goes through the tabulator right then. The new electronic poll books will be in live time. This is also something brand new, and that is so, lost my place. So that if some reason someone came in to vote, if they came back a couple days later trying to vote again, it's already in the electronic poll book that they voted. So we don't need to worry about anyone being able to vote multiple times. That cannot happen with this software. There are also many checks and balances done at the end of each night to be ready for the next day of voting. If you do decide to vote at an early voting site and already have your absentee ballot, just know we're going to have to spoil it, just like on election day. So we're going to have to spoil it. The worker's going to have to call City Hall, and a new ballot will be issued to you. This is only for this election, but beginning in 2024, if you've applied for a ballot and want to put that through the tabulator, you can. But like I said, you can't for this upcoming election because the law pertaining to that change did not go into immediate effect. Part of Proposal 22 was to inform every voter of where their early voting center is located, and hopefully everybody received their postcard. They all went out last week. If you do go to the early voting site and find out that you haven't registered to vote yet, don't worry, you still can. We're going to have a satellite location at the senior center. Someone will be there, staff from my office, for the Saturday hours as well as the Thursday evening hours. Anyone wanting to register to vote tomorrow, because it's 15 days prior to the election, just know you need to show proof of residency. So that would be an example such as a Michigan driver's license, a current utility bill, a bank statement, a paycheck, a government check, or some other type of government document. Absentees must be turned into City Hall by 8 p.m. on Election Day, but we do appreciate when they're turned in sooner. Just wanted to let everyone know that. Voters can use any of the 4 drop boxes that are now located throughout our city. We have the 2 here at City Hall. We now have 1 inside the police department lobby, 24/7 accessibility, and we also have 1 located outside of the Lindell Ice Arena, which is a curbside box. Nothing will be tabulated from the early voting site until 8 p.m. here at City Hall on Election Day. And if for some reason an election worker accidentally tried to close the polls on one of those days, they can't. The software will not let them. So we don't need to worry about any early tabulation. All the tabulation will be done Election Day at 8 o'clock. As in previous elections, election results will be updated immediately on the oakgov.com/elections website as results are tallied. There will now be 3 columns for results on that page. You're going to have a column for absentee ballot results, a column for precinct results, and a column for early voting results. And one thing I'd like to thank Judy Davids. She created a survey for us that we will have these available at the precincts, and it's going to be on a sandwich board sign as well. So if you do go to the early voting site, please take the survey. We really want to hear your feedback to make it better going forward for next year. And again, if you do decide you want to vote at your precinct on Election Day, you just go to your regular precinct from 7 to 8 p.m. and you can do that. Do you have any questions?
Any questions? Well, I just want to applaud the fact that, this is brand new and that you've taken it up, and I don't want to say, experimental, because by no means is this experimental. I mean, this has been done before. You've been preparing with the county, the city of Madison Heights, all the checks and balances are in place, and this is something that I think is really going to open up the ballot box to people that have limited opportunities to vote in person or struggle a little bit getting their mail-in ballots. And so I'm really just grateful that we have a forward-looking clerk that is in clerk's office that's willing to do the extra to franchise our residents so they can find more opportunities to vote. So many thanks to you, City Clerk Hallis.
Thank you.
And your team, your hardworking team.
Thank you.
All right, so that opens up just the 28th, correct? Saturday
Yes,
the 28th?
Saturday.
And it will go through till Election Day?
No,
Or to the
Sunday before
Sunday
Election
before
Day.
Election Day. And then after that, we can go to our normal precincts to
Yes.
vote. Or we can still
Do your absentee?
get an absentee ballot and go down that route. Okay. And I hate to put you on the spot, do we have any numbers on the number of absentee voters so far that have?
Yes, as of today, we have sent out 10,544 absentee ballots, and 3,721 have been returned.
Wow, that's pretty good. We know who the type A people are, and there's a few type B or C that may be coming to early voting. I think that's where I'm going to go. I'm going to check it out, try it out, and see how it goes. So I don't know who'll be working, but I'll see them the 28th or later. Great. All right, any questions?
Have you read up on who you're voting for yet?
Still debating. All right. Okay, anything else, Ms. Hallis?
No, that's all.
All
Thank
right,
you.
thank you very much. All right, that brings us to item 6, which is the approval of the agenda. Does anyone want to make a motion to approve the agenda? Commissioner Macy?
I'll move approval.
A motion by Commissioner Macy. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Hunt. Discussion. All right, with none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion passes. We have an agenda. All right, this brings us to item 7, which is public comment. Just a few ground rules with public comment. The City Commission does value and relies upon the input of our fellow citizens to help make decisions. Now is the time set aside for the public to address the City Commission on any city-related issue, whether or not it's on the agenda or not. I ask that comments be directed to the City Commission and not to individual commissioners. If you wish to speak tonight at public comment, please wait until recognized by me, the mayor, and then come to the podium. For the record, you will state your name and address. Please be mindful that the City Commission wants to hear from everyone who wishes to speak tonight, so comments are limited to 3 minutes per person, not per topic. And there's also a timer to help you keep track of your allotted time. If you don't wish to speak tonight, no problem. Don't hesitate to email us or reach out to us otherwise. Please note that the City Commission typically doesn't respond directly to questions during public comment. However, we are taking notes and will address those questions when the agenda topic is discussed or refer to the proper city department if the matter is not scheduled on the agenda. Our city manager is also taking notes and looks into matters as needed. And if you have any specific questions or requests, we have Ms. Davids back there, our community engagement specialist. I highly encourage that you leave your contact information with her so we can answer questions and they don't just stay in the cloud. We can deliver those answers to the people that asked them. So, well, hold on. So I'll recognize you. You're supposed to actually wait until I recognize you, but I'll recognize you first.
Well, it's your 917 Bachman. They voted for you.
Thank you.
Definitely need one of your lawn signs. I'm at 917 Bachman, so I don't drive at all, so I don't drive. So definitely only you, nobody else. So just want to bring up to your attention. And I also want to bring to your attention, it's one foreign country money, is marijuana passed Michigan, number 618, and it passed 5544, and that's one foreign country money, and I don't drive. So the bank's on my stepdad's name, and there's no way I can make it to Lansing to see Winter Room War. So if somebody can drive me to Lansing, that'd be great. I don't drive at all. And I voted for you, so I voted today, so you got my vote, and you're the only lawn sign on the yard, nobody else. So let's all you make sure you get in there. There's another guy right now who I don't know what he's about or anything, but what's he running for? That's the question I'd ask you there. So I asked for additional minute or 2 minutes because I know I have a lot to tell you, but I want to make sure you get everything.
You still got a minute and 30 seconds, sir.
Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah, I can't believe I finished it that quick. Wow, I thought I need an additional 2 minutes.
Oh, you did good.
But you're gonna win. I voted for you, so that means how many voted altogether so far?
3,700.
Wow. And how many voters are gonna be altogether?
We're about 10,500 for absentee.
So if we get people out to vote, that's the main thing. But and then it comes time, they'll just vote in presidential and government election. They won't come out and visit the city election.
Yep.
They gotta vote in every election. I do, so it's important.
It is.
Because if you don't vote, at least you voted. Mm-hmm. Take 5 minutes out of your time and go vote. So you're gonna win. That other guy don't stand a chance, does he? Because he's running, but I never heard much about him.
I can't comment.
Okay, well, you'll win. You can have a lawn sign on my yard, so you can go and pick one up. Now, I don't drive at all. The last one I want to say I don't drive. So if someone can give me a ride home tonight, that'd be great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, who's next? Going once. Going, yes, sir.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Bill Craighead. I live at 2104 Roland Avenue in Royal Oak for 65 years. 5 years previous, I was in Madison Heights, just so you can figure out how old I am. My comment tonight is Airbnb regulations, inspections, safety, parking, rules, laws, and how many are there. Whether you're a property owner, a tenant, a neighbor, or a visiting tourist, staying in the know about short-term rentals can protect your rights and keep you on the safe side of them. I recently received a text from a neighbor who has been having problems with the house next door to theirs. It is a short-term rental or an Airbnb. He stated to me that his wife is ready to move away. All of you should have got a copy of her email that she had sent explaining her situation and why she is feeling this way. Ferndale has an ordinance on the number of people that can stay in a short-term rental to the available space, a mechanism for revoking license of property owners who fall short of standards in terms of upkeep, limiting the number of guests, and issues such as parking problems, parties, crime. I'm not sure what Royal Oak has now. It's hard for me today to get any information at all. I tried earlier and all I could get was the form for someone that wants to apply for a license. A possible regulation or an ordinance could be a substantiated complaint is when a property has violated the requirements of the ordinance and has been verified by a city official. After 3 substantiated complaints during a calendar year, a short-term rental will be at the risk of losing their license, unable to operate the remainder of the calendar year, and require a review by the city. I'm not making a comment that says no Airbnbs. My comment is, how many do we want in our neighborhoods? How many on each street? And how are we going to keep our city safe and respectful to our fellow neighbors while having short-term rentals in our neighborhoods without having regulations that work? Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Those are good ideas, and we appreciate it. The timing's really good on that, so thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
All right. Anybody else wish to speak tonight at public comment? Going once? Going twice? All right, we're going to close public comment and bring the meeting back to this side of the table. That gets us to item 8, which is the consent agenda. Does anyone wish to pull anything off the consent agenda to discuss further? Commissioner Colo.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to take item H off the agenda, please.
H. Okay, anybody else? Okay, all right. Well, the consent agenda, does anyone want to make a motion to approve the consent agenda less item H? We have a motion by Commissioner Macy. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Hunt. All right, any discussion on the motion? All right, with none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Item H, Commissioner Colo.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is our contract with the Artist Laureate. This has been an amazing program throughout the years. Just looking at it, when we brought together our community benefits package, we often talk about the different environmental aspects that we bring into it, green rain gardens, bioswales, etc. But this is a fundamental pillar in our community. Also is our value of art. We've seen it with murals that have gone up across town. We've seen it with our different development agreements who have freely offered new art within their building. This is another arm of it. I'd like to give Mr. Brake and his office the ability to talk about our new Artist Laureate and what we have coming up in the future.
Okay. When I assume the office, I see Ms. Barkman there, getting ready to push unmute.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. I would like to introduce Miss Elena Brash. She's our new graduate student fellow in our office, and so she will be assisting on some of the Commission for the Arts, and so I would ask you all to be nice. This is her first presentation. So.
Welcome.
Hello, thank you. Good evening, members of the Commission and the Mayor. So the City Attorney has finalized the 2023-2024 contract with the selected candidate, poet Roberta Brown, who is with us here today. There will be at least 12 poetry workshop events over the course of the next 14 months. The first one was held last Monday, the 16th, at the library. It was a literary club. And our artist laureate will be compensated $5,000. The first half will be made upon completion of the contract. I believe that was signed this evening. The second half will be made upon project completion. And so, yeah, we're looking forward to those events. Should be really exciting.
Questions? Does anyone wish to pose a question?
Are you looking for a question?
Pose a question. Commissioner Macy.
Well, I wonder if we want our artist laureate to speak.
Ms. Brown?
You're welcome to come up. We did not ask her to prepare anything, but
I don't want to put you on the spot, but you're welcome to.
Ideally in verse.
I never turned down a chance to speak about poetry.
Thank you for your confidence in me. Thank you for appointing me. I've already attended the art walk that was held last August and am looking forward to continued readings and writings. And if you remember the night that I was appointed, I also asked all of you to please consider writing a poem, either about your memories, about your favorite things of Royal Oak, your experience with your kids in Royal Oak, with the school system, at the library. And so I would encourage you to indeed do that. And I believe your work would go to Susan Barkman, is that correct?
yes, you can send it to me and I will get it to her.
Yes. And don't be afraid. I will look over it and offer any suggestions and any editing, because I think it would be important to have the leaders of our community have their writing in the poetry collection that will be the project of my term. Do you have any questions for me?
Commissioner Macy.
I thought when you came the first time you said we had to write a line. Now you're saying a poem.
It's interest. You're late.
Yeah. I feel like, what if we just send a line? Do we have to write a whole poem?
Well, you can send a line and make sure it's a long line.
Can I get a syllabus for this class?
My daughter is doing poetry right now in her high school class.
Is she? Excellent, excellent. Yes, so it would be interesting to do, one poem with a line from each of you about your experience and your love of the city. So certainly feel free to do that.
Yeah. I have some ideas.
Group project.
I feel like you just signed us up for a second project now.
No, that's
No more questions, so we have a third book to write, guys.
I'll make sure this weekend Commissioner Macy works on it.
We'll be in Sandusky together.
I thought we were going to Indianapolis.
Oh, you'll be with Ned.
Oh. I mean, I didn't mean to say oh so quickly and happily. Well, this is really good, and I love the challenge, and I'm glad that we are making this more formal, Ms. Brown, because I think it definitely underscores the importance that your work and the work of all artists in our community, what it means and what it matters, like Commissioner Colo said, to the fabric and identity of who we are. And I'm just very eager to see the outcome, because for me, This is not a strong subject for me. I mean, I understand art in terms of like, that's a nice painting, or, so for me, this is going to be really, I think, exciting and interesting, and just grateful we have you on board.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Will you guys edit anything I send you?
Yeah.
She does the editing.
Oh, okay. All right.
I stay out of the editing anybody's work.
One more question.
Okay, one more question? Okay, Commissioner Macy.
I was just going to ask our management fellow what else she's working on. Commissioner for the Arts, and what other projects you got going?
I am also working with the Human Rights Commission. I've been helping out a little bit with the new orientation process for the new commissioners, and social media posts for these upcoming workshop events. Those are my main things so far. I've got a few other things going on. It's been great. Thank you for asking. Yeah.
All right. Any other questions? You good? Commissioner Colo?
I don't have a question.
You just, hi. Give me a friendly wave?
Yes, sure.
So, hi, Commissioner Colo. Nice to see you.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else? All right. Well, thank you very much.
It's a resolution.
Oh, we have a resolution here. That's right, because it's a contract.
Yeah. A motion.
All right. Anyone want to make a motion? Commissioner Colo?
With many thanks to the manager's office, I'd like to move approval of the resolution in front of us.
We have a motion by Commissioner Colo. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Hunt. Discussion on the motion. All right. With none, we'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes. All right. We have a deal.
All right.
All right. That brings us to our first and last item of tonight, which is item 9, which is the American Rescue Plan Act Enabled Project Funding Quarter Ended September 30th, 2023 report and request to create new accounting fund. Ms. Lichtenberg.
Good evening again. I bring this item to the Commission to further our commitment to clear and transparent financial record keeping and reporting. The first portion of this agenda item is to introduce what will be a quarterly report as we move forward that will align the allocation plan that Commission has approved for the ARPA spending with reporting on what has actually been spent and committed. So this reporting will come to you on a quarterly basis until the remaining $22 million that we had as of June 30 has been fully expended. If you have any questions about the format of the report or any other suggestions, please send them my way, but I'm hopeful that this will provide a clear picture of where that spending is going. The second part of this agenda item is to create a new accounting fund. Again, in the interest of maintaining very clear and transparent reporting of these dollars that have come to us in this one-time special opportunity for the city. We are asking to create this separate fund, which will be used for the tracking of the remaining ARPA dollars only. So tonight, all I'm asking is for you to approve the creation of that fund. And then when we bring the next budget amendment to you, we will actually include in there a request to transfer the dollars into that. But tonight, we are only asking you to create that fund.
Questions? Commissioner Cole.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is a great report, a lot of information here. It's great to see, and we've had a great commitment. We're lucky that we had $28 million, so this is really great to see how we're investing this. Just one question about the kind of the format of this. I see in the proposed expenditures, we have some expected completion date of this year on many of the items that we just know. we won't have a restroom outside the library this year. Is there a way when we're looking at this to have, if we're looking at this a quarterly update, to have maybe some original, expected date and then the current ETA, just to help us guide our community conversations about when we might expect to see some of these projects rolling out?
Absolutely, that's a very good point.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's a really good point. I might just suggest just having a little, like, if you wanted to include that in a, where it says the description, but like, break it in two and like status maybe. You know what I mean? You could just fit whatever you need to fit in there depending on the nature of it. That might be good to know, and we can include that in there.
And then also along those lines, a lot of these are kind of open-ended items. I'm looking at some of the engineering items where we're doing rainwater upgrades, stormwater retention. Mr. Berg, is there any way that maybe when we have an ARPA item that that comes up for approval, it can go on the consent agenda as an ARPA item so that we can tell this story about how we're spending the money for the community? I think we're spending $28 million on the betterment of Royal Oak, so I think chances for us to highlight that really helps let the public know how that money's being spent.
I would say absolutely, that we should include that information on there. And, we're looking at an agenda management system that, can segregate if there's certain projects and things like that. But bottom line, yes, I would wholeheartedly agree with you, is that we want to tie that back, the funding source back to ARPA, and talk about what how we're best utilizing, being good stewards of these funds and advancing with the goals and objectives that you all approved.
Great, and that's great to hear. And just so I'm clear too, like, just so that's not on the claim or the purchase order as ARPA, like, just have a called out line, a description, an item on consent agenda that says ARPA spending, and here's what that project is. That might be, once again, just a good way to highlight it, to catch it, so we all know. And are able to celebrate this for the community.
Yeah, that shouldn't be a problem.
Thank you.
No, I would agree with you.
I think it's great. I mean, everything's clear to me. I think those minor adjustments just to add a little bit more than, the finance world, just keep that little other realm of execution incorporating in here, which I'm sure will drive you nuts trying to track down exactly where things stand, but so is the life of finance. I think this is really transparent to folks. We'll do it quarterly, and I imagine we can pull up the last report anytime there's something that comes before us in front of the commission and say, okay, this is how it looks now, and we can kind of see our progress. Spending the allocations accordingly. So, real good. I like it. And you just need approval for a separate fund, which makes us a heck of a lot easier to see the ins and outs and not having to do a forensic analysis for every report and every FOIA and everything that may come.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
I wholeheartedly support that if somebody makes a motion. We have a motion by Commissioner Macy, second by Commissioner Hunt. Discussion? All right, with none, we'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes. All right. Thank you. Well, are we really done at 8:09 p.m.? See, without Commissioner Douglas and Commissioner Dubuck, these meetings are hyper efficient.
Yeah,
it's just crazy.
There, who slows it down?
Excuse me.
Heather.
All right. Notwithstanding anything for the betterment of the city of Royal Oak, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. A motion by Commissioner Macy, second by Commissioner Hunt. Oh.
No,
She beat you to it.
Yeah.
She's got fast hands.
I got
You just
nothing
wave.
tonight.
She's got the right motion. All right. Any discussion? All right, with none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes. Adjourn.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.